Teams, it seemed almost from the get-go, didn't have a chance to win yesterday. You know, I don't think they played their best basketball, either team, and you almost have to quickly put that game behind you and prepare for the next game, because this is almost a must-win for both of these teams. You know, you don't want to leave it to the last game, and whoever wins today is guaranteed to at least make it to the qualification quarterfinal game, and that's all you're thinking about.
But you have a mixture of a sense of urgency, while at the same time a sense of we don't need to panic.
Yeah, you know, you still have another game on Monday, but do you really want to leave it to Monday? And what's dangerous is urgency can make people play better, or it can make people play scared and out of their comfort zone, and it doesn't benefit them also. So it depends on how they're going to handle this pressure, both these teams.
Well, you got to look there at Natalia Trofimova, the former Belarus player, now the coach, and just was a matter of fact yesterday. We didn't play well. We just got to play better tomorrow, and we have to do a lot of things better. And perhaps sometimes those of us in our position that we're in, we overanalyze things. And it's pretty simple for the players. They just have to go out and play and do their best, and they're not going to stress out too much. Obviously, it's a disappointment if you don't advance, and clearly, I'm guessing that it's going to be one of these two teams that ultimately does not move on into that next phase of the competition. So we've seen Slovakia come out. We've seen Belarus come out. Marian Svoboda has come out, the coach. Any idea who's going to win this game? You have a pick? Put you on the spot real quick.
You know what? I'm going to go with Slovakia.
You think they're going to win it?
Yeah, I do. You know, Belarus, we talked yesterday, ugly type of game, but they can pull off wins, but I think I'm going to go for Slovakia today.
Okay, we'll see what happens. So now the national anthems for both teams, starting with Belarus. The national anthem for Belarus, who lost 80-60 to Italy yesterday. Now for the Slovak Republic. Slovak Republic national anthem. They were 69-58 losers to Turkey yesterday, and you know, they dug themselves an early hole in that game, and they just couldn't quite climb out of it. They made runs, and every time they'd make a run of 2 or 3 baskets, 6-7 points, Turkey would respond with a big play. So maybe they'll grow from that yesterday, but the thing is as well with Belarus, they've got so much experience, Olympic experience. They've been one of the top teams in Europe for a long time. Obviously, tonight the referees from Greece, Cyprus, and Belgium, and or rather this afternoon for this game. We saw Belarus yesterday for the first time without Yelena Lushenko, without Anastasia Vermayinka, without Tatiana Troina. I mean, there were times when those players didn't play, obviously, in the last decade. But when they were all together, as well as with Lindsay Harding, you know, that was a pretty potent lineup, and they made it to the Olympics and played. So they're kind of in a period of change, even though they still have a lot of players like up at the top, Snitsina, Liktarovic, number 8. Marina Kress has come back. Victoria Hasper is there. Popova is a real talent. She was at the Olympics. And really their big guns didn't fire yesterday. Snitsina, Liktarovic, Popova, they didn't really do much, honestly, offensively. And I'm not sure that it was anything that Italy did to take them out of their games either. So that's a bit worrying.
Yeah, I don't think we saw a Belarus team that played up to their potential, even with, you know, those greats that we talked about retiring.
And what about Slovakia? Who stood out for you yesterday?
Who stood out for me for Balantova. She was great yesterday.
She was terrific.
She was, you know, she led that team yesterday, and you need to see their post players step up and help her out.
And similarly, Zhirkova did not have a big game yesterday. She fouled out. Orosova was pretty solid. Balantova, Yurchenkova was, you know, she was solid, but not perhaps as good as she needed to be. So it's one of those things where obviously both of these teams need to raise their level if they want to move forward in the competition.
Yeah, they do. And like we talked about, this is a must-win for both of these teams. So I think it's going to come down to who wants it more.
Well, we have seen on occasion over the years, and it's funny because we were talking to the Slovakian communications officer before the game about Zhirkova, how she played professional basketball, or for a professional basketball club, since the age of 13. And now here we've got Balantova, the rainmaker. Boy, she brought some rain yesterday with her threes. And we've got Bentley. We saw flashes of Bentley yesterday of being a real potent player, but Belarus could really, you know, use her or hope that she could raise her level. Trofimova, the rookie head coach for so many years of Belarus International, didn't play that many minutes for Belarus.
No, I think she might have been that vocal leader, though.
It was the captain. Svoboda, obviously renowned for the work that he did with the Czech youth players, their golden generation from the youth team, or when he was the coach of the Brno youth system. He is now the head man of the Slovak Republic. And, well, we'll see. I mean, they both of these teams we know are capable of playing better than they did yesterday, and probably say they're not playing as formidable opposition. So both of these teams will be liking their chances today. We didn't say anything about the point guard of Belarus, who was quite interesting yesterday, at least in the first half, who's getting more minutes, and she's going to start again as well today. And we're talking about Zyuskova. She started out with the quick 7 points. And I wonder if Bentley will get into the game a little bit faster today. It's an interesting lineup when you know you've got Bentley on the bench itching to get in. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Czech Republic. It's day 2 of the FIBA EuroBasket Women, and it's Belarus taking on the Slovak Republic, Slovakia. And Snitsina, number 6, has her hands on the ball, and she'll be hoping to have a fast start today, as will the player right now with the ball, Liktarovic. And Liktarovic, that's a good start for her.
That's a great start. You know, she didn't really get on the score clock until late in the game yesterday, and we talked about Snitsina. They both need to start early. They really do if this Belarus team wants a chance to win.
Zyuskova is guarding Zhirkova and gets the hands in there, commits the early foul, and was she in the shooting motion? Are they going to give her 2 free throws? Let's watch this. Yep.
Oh yeah, she was going up for a shot.
So Zhirkova has a chance to get off the snide here early, and that's a good sign for the Slovakians. They desperately need her. I mean, talk about longevity in a career. That's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, 15-year career with your national team.
Yurchenkova coming out and playing some D. Belarus, they are susceptible to pressure. If you look back at some of their games over the years, even when they had some of the more prominent players, if you put pressure on them, you could really harass them and cause them into a lot of mistakes. They've had some implosions over the years. Liktorovic gets in. Ball fumbles over to Chris, and the veteran puts it up short. Now Zherkova, Yanchul, Romana, Vinochilova, no, and now back over to Liktorovic. Zherkova takes it away, it goes behind the back. Zhyskova pick up another foul. Well, she's going to feed to Orosova, and Orosova threw it too hard off the glass. Looked like maybe Slovakia were in a bit of a rush that time.
Yeah, I thought they had a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 advantage, but I think she needed to catch the ball and just take it up a little bit slower. But you know what? You already noticed these two teams are playing a lot more aggressive from the beginning, from tip-off, compared to how they played yesterday.
Zherkova just turns, shoots, misses. Nitsina with the rebound. You can see Zherkova is upset with herself. Thought she should have had that.
A little bit of a missed opportunity.
Shot clock winding down. Liktorovic is going to put it up. Yurchenkova with the rebound. Now Balantova, the star yesterday. Oh, beautiful bounce pass to Yurchenkova. Liktorovic. Svoboda, the coach of Slovakia, said he felt like his players gave too much respect to Turkey early on yesterday, and that really hurt them. But they've come out today, started positively, and now another turnover gives it back over to Belarus. Zhyskova, a little bit of pressure in the backcourt there. Zherkova, and incredibly, looked like maybe a little bit out of control taking the shot. Then Zhyskova bailed her out with the foul.
Yeah, I mean, that's a foul. I think it's a good call. And I think it's a good read by Zherkova, realizing, you know what, the pressure is a little bit too much. If I go up, I'm going to be able to get to the free throw line.
And she took it right past the player, and that's going to get Zhyskova out and bring in Bentley. And
it's not a bad substitution.
Not a bad substitution at all. And it'll be interesting to see how Zherkova, if she tries to go right at Bentley the way that she's gone at Zhyskova. But what's happened really for Slovakia is that Zherkova has been able to get on track early here at the free throw line. And she was a weapon really that they didn't have on offense yesterday. Zherkova bumps Liktorovic up high. And a nice move by Liktorovic, but then she puts up a difficult shot. And Kress with the rebound, and she's fouled.
I thought Kress played great yesterday, and they need her again today. She had a very big stat line. Not a big stat line, but she was very consistent. 4 assists, 5 points, boards. She just kind of did everything for them. And for a role player, that's kind of what you need from her.
One. Hurry up. Wait for the ball. We leave it there.
Kress just makes 1 of 2.
And Bentley is meeting Zhirkova up high. A little bit fleeter of foot than Zyskova. Halova trapped in the corner, and somehow Slovakia did not have an over and back violation there. Oh, Halova with a pass. And then the traveling call against Slovakia. Kind of got no man's land there. Now Bentley, she's going to go right in and get blocked. Rejection City. Not in this house, madame. And then the reverse layup. And that's no good. Popova quickly to Bentley. And Bentley gets in the open floor. She's going to like this game. She flies in and gets an and one.
So she thought she got fouled on that last layup, but I think it was a good block. But she makes up for it here.
And then she gave a stare. Who was she staring at?
I think the ref for not calling it last time.
Right. So out goes Zhirkova. Palenikova comes in. And Belarus now somewhat in the ascendancy, and they knot it at 6. I guess yesterday, as you look at Hasper coming in, with Bentley, that must have been an interesting experience for her. I mean, first real meaningful game for Belarus. So it's kind of a learning experience for her as well. She needs to find her feet. And here she is. She finds them well, gets the steal, and goes in for the layup. Oh, and she missed the layup. And nice composure by Belarus. Everybody hustling down. That's why you don't just take it for granted.
I don't think either team are going to take any layup, any shot for granted today. You're going to see everyone hustling on every play.
Pass to Halova, and she is denied by Popova. Popova kind of hopped there, it looked like, before she got into her move. She misses, and Yurchenkova with the rebound. Balantova, now the dump down low to Yurchenkova, falling back, and she traveled.
We talked yesterday. I think the bigs from Slovakia are the finesse face-up type bigs, and they don't like contact. Guess what? Belarus is going to give them contact all day, so they're going to have to get used to it and figure out, adjust to the game a little bit.
I mean, can you believe Bentley missed that layup? She couldn't believe it.
I don't think she knows how that happened.
You could read her lips. She was like, oh, man, how did that not go in?
I like how she's come out and started today, though.
But that was the same basket where Kia Vaughn missed her layup.
It was, and everyone thought it was in.
And it was almost exactly the same. Oh, inside quickly to Snitsina. Intelligent play there from Liktorovic and Snitsina. And I think already what we're seeing is that those veterans that didn't perform well yesterday for Belarus, Liktorovic and Snitsina, are raising their game a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, Snitsina ended up with 13 points yesterday, but it didn't feel like that. And a lot of them were at the end kind of in garbage time, so this is important for them.
Slovakia attacking. Ruzitskova was attempting to get on the board there. That's her layup. There she is. And again, you could see as she went up, Popova was almost kind of sliding into her. So referees right now letting them play.
And like we said, she kind of went away from the basket, though. Maybe if she had gone into Popova, you might have drawn a foul.
Good point. Ruzitskova tries to make the bounce pass. It goes off the leg. And Ruzitskova comes up with it. Number 7, checking in. And that time Halova read the pass. Well, the Popova.
Why not?
One in. And Belarus have been on quite a run. They were down 6-3. It's a 10-0 run as Svoboda calls a timeout. Well,
you know, we haven't seen Balantova yet, really. She was kind of the spark plug for them yesterday, and I think she needs to get involved. Even if it's not her shot, she needs to start penetrating, start creating for her bigs.
I think so. I just really felt like even yesterday that, I mean, it was very simple. You know, you look at Belarus, forget the players that you're missing, and remember the players who are still with this team. And they've got some players with a lot of experience, and they just did not show up yesterday.
Yeah, you know, they didn't.
Viktorovich and Popova. And already today, we've seen two of them come out and make plays. And also Bentley, with one game under her belt, has come out with a little bit of fire in the belly.
Energy. You know, I don't know if you, as teammates who have played for Belarus before, are you looking at it and going, oh man, we're not as good as we used to be? So do you have less confidence in yourselves? And maybe you just needed to get that one game horrible. And I'm sure coach said, listen, guys, we're a lot better than we did yesterday. You know, you guys got to get involved. You need to start aggressive. You need to believe in yourselves. And today they're showing a lot more confidence, and I think it shows on the scoreboard right now.
And it's also interesting they've gone on this run with Zirkova out of the lineup for Slovakia. Rusitskova puts it up from the baseline. And the ball is going to remain with the Slovakians. And I think it's an interesting point that you made with the bigs of Slovakia. They are more finesse and not really the type of players that are seeking contact. They're trying to almost avoid it.
Absolutely, and Belarus are the opposite.
Exactly, they seek it. So you add those two together, and this time Rusitskova fouled by Hasper.
But that's what I'm talking about. I said Balantova needs to get involved.
That's right.
So, you know, it's not your shot, but she created, she took defense, and there you go. She made a nice pass.
You know, it's interesting is Trofimova says, hey, listen, I'm guessing she's saying, you got to play defense, but I need you on the court. You can't pick up as many fouls as quickly as you did yesterday. Halova hits the baseline jumper. And that is something that Belarus will not like if the bigs can pull them away from the basket. So that might be an advantage with the Slovakian side if they can stroke the jumpers. Bentley passes out to Snitsina. It's online and it's good. Boy, what a difference 24 hours makes.
Really, you know, and that was a great penetration by Bentley. You know, she came to a 2-foot jump stop, sort of looked at the rim, drew the Slovakian defenders, and found Snitsina for three. And that's an important three. She missed those yesterday, so she's got to be feeling confident hitting her first shot.
And Balankova.
I feel like Slovakia are a little bit out of rhythm right now.
Well, there's no question. So Balankova missed her three. Now into the corner, Ritsiskava, and a good rebound from Rusitskova. And the three attempt as well from Ramenorova. And now Bentley draws the foul, goes to the line.
She looks different today. She almost has more energy. And like you said, you know, she has one game under her belt. So maybe that's all she needed. That was, you know, the initiation game. And now she's ready to lead this team. She's being aggressive. She's creating everything. She's creating for herself, for her teammates. She was aggressive on defense. You know, she had that great pick. Missed the layup that everyone thought was in. But that's what they're going to need today.
And also, I mean, they're playing Slovakia. I mean, I thought yesterday it's going to be Belarus ball. I thought yesterday that the Italian guards were outstanding, so that didn't make it any easier for Bentley.
Yeah, nothing was easy for Belarus yesterday with how well Italy played.
Kress trying to get away from Ruzicova. Now it's Zirkova on Bentley. Watch this one. Bentley falls down. Is able to get the pass back. Belarus trying to pass it a little bit faster. And the ball goes off the hands of Ruzicova.
Yeah, and Snitsina says, you know what, my bad. That was a bad pass. I probably should have created something.
And you're trying to pick up the D, but you don't want to foul a player that far away from the basket. It's not matter.
No, you know, she wasn't even in a scoring threat. She wasn't going to blow by you. That's a difficult foul, especially when they're already in bonus.
So the first one is good for Palenikova. Still a 7-point lead here for Bentley and Belarus. And the pass over Kress from Popova.
You know, that was a little too eager, but that's the right pass. They switched. Kress had a huge advantage, and, you know, maybe Popova should have taken her time a little bit more and
just didn't execute it.
Yeah, basically. But that's the look. That's the kind of look that they need to look for.
And now Snitsina comes out with a silly foul. Remember, she fouled out yesterday. So,
and
you know.
That's just ill-advised. I mean, she was going for the steal, kind of, but
it's her first foul, so from that
she can't be happy with that.
And going to the line, Remenarova makes the first one. And the second one as well. So that's 2 easy points for the Slovakians, and they get it back now to 16-11. And Ruzicova comes up and commits a foul a long way away from the basket.
Maybe the refs had a little huddle and said,
let's call some fouls out on the perimeter.
We'll let things go inside the key, but outside.
Palenikova is the one now on Bentley. Popova for 3.
Why not? Not a bad shot. She hit one of those earlier today already.
Oh, Remenarova was going coast to coast, and then she just lost it. And then it gives the ball to Bentley, who goes in, and she misses another layup. She's going to be beside herself. And hopefully that's not a serious injury as Palenikova holds her knee. Not sure what happened there. Oh, here it is. Oh, she landed on her teammate,
her ankle.
Ruzicova. Yeah, it looks like she turned her ankle. Although she's not holding her ankle. But it definitely looked like she landed on her foot.
You know, sometimes as an athlete, it hurts. You don't really know what hurts right away, but you just need to catch your breath, calm down a little bit. Though she looks like she's sore. She doesn't even want to put pressure on her foot. I'm pretty sure it's her ankle.
Yeah. Now, can she get some ice on that real quickly and elevate it and have a chance of getting back in the game, or do you think she's done for the next 2 days?
Well, we're in Europe,
loss.
so they're going to pull out that ice spray that they like to use over here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. A lot of times, initially, it's like, ow, 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 and then the adrenaline starts running. You want to get back out there, and you do feel a little bit better after you calm down. Right. So hopefully maybe a little bit of ice, definitely tape, and I think they're going to see how she feels.
And offensive foul called on Belarus. You also have to get it elevated, right? Or do you? No, you have really some ankle injuries. So
yeah, so elevating, if you have swelling, she's not going to, if it's really bad, yeah, it's going to blow up right away. Right. If it's just kind of a roll, I think it'll take a little while to swell. So the biggest thing is compression.
Right.
And they're going to test it. They'll know if it's bad right away or not.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Thorburn. I appreciate it.
Ankle injuries, I'm an expert.
Valentova bumped as she gets it into the lane by Popova. That's her second foul. And again, the foul trouble is not what Belarus need. They got them into a little bit of trouble yesterday, and it's helping Slovakia come back into it.
Yeah,
although right now Valentova doesn't really look like the same player she was yesterday.
I know. I picked Slovakia and Valentova to go off. I'm telling you, I think it's me. I can't give my opinion at the beginning of every game now.
You are the jinx.
But you know what? It's early. She's going to find her rhythm. She's a great basketball player.
It's a pretty even contest here coming up at the end of the first quarter. Bentley for three. That's off the back of the rim, side of the rim. Rusitskova now. And Belarus has just gone cold after going up by 10 points, or 8 points. 10 points. Jump shot from Orosova, and Zhirkova gets the rebound back. Look for her to take this shot. She does, and she banks it in. And that is exactly Zuzana Zhirkova. I mean, she's the player that will make that kind of shot.
You know what? And with a 15-year career, she's made a couple of those, and that's a great way to finish a tough first quarter for them. That's going to give them a little bit of life moving into the second quarter here.
Belarus lead at 16-15 after one. Slovakia just 2 of 11 inside the arc, and they just hit their first three. But look at that. They've done a lot of damage at the free throw line. So Slovakia in a little bit of trouble after a big run from Belarus. Nikorovich got it going, Stetsina got it going, Bentley got it going, but Slovakia have come back and pulled within just a single point here at the end of the first quarter. So all the momentum right now is with the Slovakians, and maybe Belarus all of a sudden are starting to question themselves again.
Yeah, I think Belarus let Slovakia come back. It wasn't anything that Slovakia really did. Belarus had a couple of ill-advised fouls outside the three-point line, just on people who weren't even looking at attacking. And you know, they were in bonus, and they got to free throw line. They've shot 10 free throws already in the first quarter. So Belarus let them come back. So Belarus has to say, you know what, we need to play smarter because we were doing fine. We're the ones who gave Slovakia momentum.
Right. And maybe they will. Now Bentley goes out. Zhirkova comes back in with the 2 fouls. Also into the game for the first time in Kina. She played a little bit yesterday. Now she's in. She's guarding Orosova. And Zhirkova follows up her miss. Nikorovich. Kina puts it up, little turnaround, battle for the rebound from Kress, but couldn't come down with it. Under a little bit of pressure that time from the Slovakians. He kind of had her hemmed in. So that was Kina coming right off the bench and putting one up. Zhirkova with 5 on the shot clock now. Raminova drives in, puts it up and in.
That's a nice take. You know, maybe momentum is swinging a little bit. Belarus is going to have to get a score here and calm down a little bit.
So Raminova her second basket. Zioskova for three.
Why not?
Well, the unpredictability of this Belarus team is just off the charts.
And you know, she gave them those 7 early points yesterday, and I think that's a great job from a role player.
Here she is out on the break too. Look at this. And I think both she and Zirkova perhaps getting carried away with themselves a little bit. But she wanted to push it up and get an easy basket. Snitsina puts up a three.
A great rebound.
Casper puts it up.
And one.
Count it. Yes, they are. And if she can just do that, you know, clean up inside,
give them second chance points.
That's invaluable.
Score, yeah, exactly. And she's capable of doing that. She's the largest woman out there right now, so tallest woman. And why not?
Nice stroke. So she converts a three-point play. Takes it back up to a 5-point lead. That was a big shot from Zioskova. That was a momentum changer.
Yeah, it was, and it was about 1.5 meters outside the three-point line.
Valentova drives in, finds Orosova, who misses, and again, Hasper. That's why she's in the game.
Exactly. Rebound, play defense.
Zioskova with a nifty little pass to Likarovic. Rusitskova now with the board. Nino Halova misses. She was short. Rusitskova with the rebound. Oh, nice reverse layup. Read the situation. And Kina didn't react.
What a great move. She was even doubled. She was patient. She didn't lose the ball. 2 points.
And Hasper is becoming a factor here for Belarus.
She could cause a lot of trouble for Slovakia. I don't think they can guard her. She's a lot stronger. She's a lot taller. So if she wants to, she should be able to score.
She's got 5 points here in the second quarter. And Likarovic picks up the foul. So Hasper, I think, is going to come out to catch a breath. Likarovic, again, kind of a needless foul out on the perimeter.
You know, she was trying to be aggressive and get through the screen, but she did hold the player.
Zirkova to Vinya Halova, and she knocks it in. Yurchenkova now picks up her second foul. It's even right now, isn't it? I mean, this is going to go down to the wire, I think. And you can see the elevation in the ice for Palenikova. Hopefully she'll be back. Likarovic drives in, puts it up! And Belarus now getting back in their stride on offense.
You know, she had 7 points yesterday, but she was only 1 for 6 from the field. And I think she's just being more aggressive today.
Definitely.
She was 5 for 5 from the free throw line yesterday, so she was trying to get to the line, but I just think you can see a different attitude in the Belarus players.
Well, now another foul, and this one on Zioskova, so that's 3, so presumably she'll be coming out. Bentley coming back in.
Zioskova did a great job for them in the first 4 minutes here. There we go.
And another shot from the Slovakians gets it back to 27-23. Balatova. Nastitsina. Oh. I was going to say, nice move from Popova, nice follow by Kress, but Belarus just couldn't put the ball in the basket.
Kress read that rebound great. You know, I think she thought Popova was going to little off balance going up for that first layup, and maybe she was so worried about the shot clock, she kind of threw it up there.
So Slovakia trying to get one back here. Zirkova, little pump fake, and is able to get rid of it before she falls down. Yurchenkova is blocked, and the ball goes out of bounds off Belarus. And Svoboda over there on the sidelines is telling the referee that his player's getting bumped in the lane, and there's no call.
This is an aggressive game. They're letting a lot go inside the paint. You know, there's a lot of bodies on the floor right now.
Odosova has checked out of the game. She hasn't really gotten it going yesterday. She was today rather. She was solid yesterday. Shot clock winding down. Zirkova gets inside, misses. Good block from Kress. Well aware of the situation. And the ball comes back over now to Bentley. Witsiskava dumps it to Popova. Do you like the adjustments that Trofimova has made?
Yeah, I do.
The coach of Belarus.
I think they're making their game is completely different.
Well, doesn't she?
Yes. I think a lot of it was, though, they didn't play well yesterday, and I think she had to reconfirm, guys, that wasn't our game. We're a lot better than that. So relax, calm down. We need to start more aggressive. We need to be more confident, and you see that today.
Viktorovich inside to Kress. It's blocked now, Zirkova. And Zirkova just kind of loses the ball and she gets right close to the basket. I mean, sometimes it seems like she's out of control, but oh no, Bentley got a hand on it is what it was. Good hands from Bentley.
Yeah, you know, I know she's trying to push the ball and she's trying to be aggressive, but there was no real advantage in that attack. Maybe it would have been better to slow it down, run an offense.
The ball goes back over to the Slovakians. So with 4:40 remaining, we've got another timeout here in Hradec Králové, the Czech Republic. The Slovakians want the TO. So as Svoboda, at least his team was able to come back from that early run from Belarus. I mean, both of these teams, I think, are looking at this like it's must win if we want to stay in the competition.
You know, it's still only a 4-point game, so that's nothing. And it feels like the momentum is in Belarus's favor, but we thought that the entire first quarter, and they were only up 1 at the end of it. So basketball's a game of runs, and it's more like you have to weather the storm. You have to weather the run that's happening. So I'm not really worried. No one should be worried right now. I like this game so far. I think both these teams are aggressive, and both of them are playing knowing, hey, we need to win this if we want to move on.
Probably we know that neither of these teams will finish in first. So the idea of going straight to the quarterfinals isn't going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. That's not, I mean, I'd be very surprised if a team with 1 loss moves on to first place in this group, but
unless we see, you know,
an
Italy.
upset or.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Italy.
We can't call it an upset, can we? Because we really didn't know who was going to win this group.
No. To be fair, I could see Belarus could see Belarus beating Turkey if they continue to grow like they have so far.
Yeah.
Much to be decided still. Balantova. Ritsikawa picks up the rebound. Now Viktorovich up top. Popova with a pump fake at the line. Balantova. Cuts back to the middle. And her pass knocked out of bounds. Team, the scoring seems to be flying up a little bit here as Hasper comes back in for press. That's an interesting rotation. That's clearly the challenge for Trofimova, is how to manage her bigs, how to get them in and out of the game, how to keep them out of foul trouble.
I think they've done a good job so far in this game compared to yesterday of managing the fouls. Coach has done a better job maybe with rotations a little bit, so they're less tired, so they're not fouling. Might have got away with one there.
Yeah, I think so, but they've turned it over anyway. So Slovakia got back on D. Downside to Yurchenkova, and she puts it high off the glass and in. And now the deficit is 2 points for Slovakia.
And you know, that's one of those for Belarus. You thought you got fouled, but then you didn't really hustle back. You didn't pay attention to the ball. You got to keep playing.
Balantova. Halova down low. And Balantova, just kind of a crazy shot. Don't know if she was going to try to pass it to Halova, but Bentley quickly to the other end, gets it to Ritsikawa.
Feel a little momentum shift.
That's where Bentley's really good, isn't it? She gets it up the floor quickly.
So fast. If the ball is in her hands, even when she's dribbling, she's almost faster than anyone else on the court right now.
I think she's deceptively quick, actually. Down low, Yurchenkova.
Again, doesn't really like the contact. I thought that was great defense.
Look at Bentley, they're just letting her play. She's running around them, and she puts it up, and she's got a chance for a three-point play.
Her second and one already.
I've seen enough from her. I mean, she's like, if you allow her just to dribble up the floor, she's going to beat you.
Tell her to be aggressive. She's unselfish.
Yeah.
She's you know, statistically, I think she only has 2 assists right now, but she's creative for her teammates. They just haven't knocked down some shots. And Slovakia has to be so conscious of her because she's proved that she can make layups. She can make layups with contact. So they're going to start to collapse, and this is going to open things up for them on the perimeter. She's playing a lot better today. Very different player.
And she's picked it up here right after Slovakia got it to within 2 points.
And we're feeling comfortable.
And she needs to stay on the floor as well with Zioskova having those 3 fouls. Trying to think what the other option is going to be. Lova thought she was shooting the free throw. She got in too soon. Anyway, she gets the 3-point play. So now back to a 7-point deficit that the Slovakia team is facing. Halova blocked by Popova. And Popova picks up the foul, so now Popova has 3 fouls. And it is something that they are continuing to battle against, is the foul trouble. Belarus is going to hurt them. And Tina comes back in for Popova.
And you know, that's a tough matchup for Inkina. She's not tall. And Slovakia has some tall players out there right now. So that could be something that Slovakia has to calm down and realize, okay, you know what, we have a mismatch in this position. Let's try and go for that score.
And I think also inexperience.
Yeah. But, you know, Belarus doesn't have a deep front court.
No, they have to go to her. I mean, no offense, you want to give her some experience. So Missed, but Svitsina knocks it to Inkina. I mean, she played last year in Kina at the Under-20 European Championship Division B. So this is a big step up for her. Svitsina for 3. And there for the offensive rebound. And Ritsikava has it. Back to Bentley. Bentley puts it up on the baseline. Ritsikova with the rebound. Just get the feeling that neither of these teams has the ability to really pull away. It's going to be a close one. Valentova whips it out. And the three-pointer is good for number 23, Slamova.
You were waiting for that, weren't you? But again, great penetration by Valentova. She's the one who created that shot for them.
What if Slovakia take the lead here before the half? That'll be a mental victory, won't it? Bentley fouled, shooting the jump shot. So
I think it might have been an off-ball foul, no?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was on the switch.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think Slamova called for the hold.
Slamova.
Yeah.
This was Valentova. Look at this. Slamova takes it with confidence.
And that's a tough pass. You know, if Slamova had slid to the baseline, it would have made it a lot easier for Valentova. But, you know, she stayed at 45, so I think that's a great find by the point guard.
So Belarus up by 3. Seconds on the shot clock. Valentova.
Why not?
Puts it up and in.
Great shot. Now they got to get a stop. They need to play smart right here.
This is where Bentley, though,
no
she can
fouls.
go all the way.
Good defense.
Drives in. And Ritsikova has it and doesn't want to risk anything. So, all things considered for Slovakia, you have to like their position. They were down big, and they've cut it back to just 1 point.
Yeah, you know, this was a half of Belarus looked great at times and Slovakia looked great at times. Like you said, I think it's going to go down to the wire.
Anything jump out?
You know, Slovakia only shot 2 free throws in the second quarter, so I think they did a much better job, Belarus did, on not getting stupid fouls. Yeah, pretty even, you know. That's what the score looks like. So
look at the turnovers. Oh, no, sorry, that's 8 and 7, so that's pretty even as well. Well, you can't help but wonder maybe if Belarus have let it, maybe an opportunity go, they could have really stepped on the accelerator there when
pulled
they got
away
up by
a little
10,
bit.
And like you said, it wasn't so much anything the Slovakians did, it was more Belarus.
It was more Belarus and the mistakes that Belarus made, ill-advised fouls, you know, bad rotations a little bit on defense, but Slovakia never got discouraged, even though they were down and things weren't really going in their favor. And I think they just became a little bit more aggressive. You saw Valentova. She decided, okay, you know what? I'm not really getting a lot of looks, but I'm going to be able to create for my teammates. And that's what she started to do.
So with that, it's 33-32. Belarus over Slovakia at halftime. Jirkova has 7 points. Nitsina, 7 points, I think, leading the way. And then they also had 6 for Belarus. So stick around. We'll be right back for the second half. 33-32. Belarus on top of Slovakia here in an intriguing game. This is Czech Republic, and this is a Group B game. Both of these teams, Natalia Trofimova's Belarus and Marian Svoboda's Slovakia, were losers yesterday. So they came into this 0-1, and we've seen the good and the bad from both of these teams today. And really, it's poised. Could go either way, really. I mean, what is said in the locker room at halftime, having experienced this so many times in your career?
You know, I think neither team could be disappointed. They're playing a lot better than they did yesterday. Slovakia should feel good about only being down one, because it has felt like Belarus has had more of the momentum for longer periods in that first half. But, you know, I just like the aggressivity by both teams. They're honestly a different team right now. People are rebounding. People are crashing. It's a very aggressive game inside the key. You know, there's a lot of pounding going on. Belarus let Slovakia get back into the game at the end of the first quarter with just so many ill-advised fouls that sort of gave Slovakia hope. And then you know, they nailed that three at the end. So, honestly, both teams got to feel good. We knew this game was going to be close and go down to the wire, and that's what we see at halftime.
Well, foul trouble. There is a little foul trouble with Belarus. Zyuskova has 3. Popova has 3. Hasper has 2, but Kress doesn't have any fouls. So, and really for Slovakia, Zhirkova has 2. She fouled out yesterday. So that could play a role coming down the stretch if Popova goes out of the game and even Hasper, because then Kress has to play more minutes. And I think she's good in spurts, but I think she needs to come out.
Yeah, you know, I think that's something that Trofimova, the coach for Belarus, and her assistants are going to have to keep a close eye on. You don't want your bigs, because you don't have a lot of them, to get into foul trouble. And against a tall Slovakian team, that can be dangerous. So that is something that they're going to have to be careful and watch for.
Well, interestingly, for Belarus, we talked about their veterans stepping up, at least early on, but also Bentley. And can we expect to see more, I wonder, Bentley, and if she can continue to play as well as she did in the second quarter, and what that'll mean to Belarus?
Yeah, you know, she only has 6 points and 2 assists, but it feels like she has 12 points already and 5 assists. Just with how aggressive she's been pushing the tempo, she's creating for her teammates, and she's going to be really important for them in the second half. But I really like what I've seen from Stitsina and Liktorovic. Sorry, they, you know, statistically they did okay yesterday, but when you watch the game, it wasn't until the end where it was a desperation points that they were putting up and they were making. And today they've come out aggressive, they've hit shots, and they just look more what you need, because those are the 2 leaders of this team. They're the 2 experienced players, and we need them.
Well, Liktorovic has her hands on the ball as the second half gets underway in Hradec Králové here in the Czech Republic. And Zyuskova now has it, and she doesn't hesitate launching one from a long way out. And Zyuskova now has it, and Slovakia can go back in front. Richenkova gets it over to Ruzicova. Excuse me, no, she gets it, and Orosova rather. Orosova misses, follows up the shot. Now it's back to Liktorovic.
Oh, great find.
She was almost going to miss that.
And you know what? Those were the bigs running the floor fast, and that's what Belarus has to do. They beat Slovakia down the court.
Halova out to Balantova. Uh-oh, it's a rainmaker, but she misses everything. So Slovakia looking a little dysfunctional all of a sudden on offense.
Yeah, a little out of sorts, but you know what? They're experienced. They're going to be fine.
Zyuskova almost turned it over. Was able to chase it down in the corner. Now Popova again drives in and draws the foul from Halova. Well, I think any time as a player, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you put your hands on the player, especially a player that's driving, you're susceptible to picking up the foul.
You know, that was a strong tape by Popova. She kind of went into the defense to try and draw the foul. And like you said, a hand check, even if it's just one, and the player's moving, going up, it's going to be called. It has to be called. It is a foul. Even if it's not hard and you don't really get them off course, it's still a foul.
Well, Popova makes 1 of 2 and takes the lead up to 4. So Slovakia, first minute and a half here, starting a little bit cold, and they need somebody to come out and get a basket. Maybe it'll be Zhirkova. She's going to put up the jumper, and it is!
You know what? She started strong from at the beginning of the game. She had 7 early points. She was aggressive. She got to the free throw line, and she's their leader. She's not going to go down without a fight, and she's a shooter. She's a scorer, so why not? Hasper,
nice pass to Liktorovic. Good rotation from Orosova. Popova again drives in, and boy, how in the world she was able to kind of keep control of the ball, put it up softly off the glass. And the bump from Yurchenkova on Snitsina. And Yurchenkova needs to be careful. She doesn't want to put a gesture at the referee. And
it's a rookie move by Snitsina there. You know, she thought the screen was a little bit of a moving and a little bit of a push off, and I think she sold it, but that's a veteran move.
3 fouls on Yurchenkova. In fact, she's got 4 fouls now, so she's going to have to come out. And is it 4 or is it 3? Just looking up on the scoreboard here. Yeah, she's got 4 fouls. So Ruzitskova comes in with Vinyakalova. Now Zioskova has it. And Hasper, boy, she's been good, hasn't she? For what they need today, she's really come out and contributed.
She really has. She has kept them alive when Slovakia have gone on their little runs. Offensive rebounds, putbacks. She can score.
Yeah, she has a little mid-range jump shot. Balankova drives in, and she's going to get up slowly. In fact, she's not going to get up. She might have to come out of the game here. See what happens. Not sure where she got hurt here. Just the collision with Popova on the leg, or the side, maybe the hip.
I don't know if she, you know, a Charlie horse, a dead leg maybe?
Well, Slamova's going to
She's walking gingerly, that's for sure.
We saw Slamova hit the 3 in the first half. And now the bounce pass, Viktorovich, boy, that was basketball 101 right there.
That was a beautiful play. You know, we saw them do that yesterday too, and that's a play that they look for. If a team's pressuring, go to the high post, backdoor on the wing.
Zirkova, another jump shot, and she is fouled by Kress. What a way to pick up your first foul for Kress.
What a great shot. What a veteran move.
There's no question about it. I mean, she went up to block the shot, and if your momentum carries you into the shooter, that's a foul.
Yeah, you know, I think she's saying, well, I didn't really foul on the shot, but she didn't leave any room for the shooter to land.
Yeah. And Zirkova rattles it in and now has 12 points.
And she's the one who got them going in the first half, and they need her to do that.
Well, that was crunch time right there. They were down 8, and remember that. And now Orosova putting some pressure on Popova. And Popova's going to back her up, and she's going to go for the left hand. Maybe doing a little too much. The Slovakian team is pesky. They're refusing to go away. Slamova perhaps got into a situation there where she didn't need to be. Forced one up, but the ball gets out of bounds. It'll be Slovakian ball. Remenarova is not going to come in, and Orosova comes out. Well, Orosova hasn't really had anything go today. She's 0 of 5 from the floor. She's got a few rebounds, but she's taking a seat. Oh, nice play to Zirkova. Boy, what a costly miscue.
That's going to be a highlight reel, and a great one for Slovakia, not a good one for Belarus.
Zirkova could potentially go off today for about 25 the way she's playing right now. Popova. Now Popova's starting to force it just a little. I guess if she's open, she's got the green light.
You know, I think Zirkova is playing like this might be my last EuroBasket, and I want us to play as long as we can.
How long will it be before we see Bentley? Wow. And that time, the ball went off the side, and all of a sudden, Belarus just looked like they're disinterested.
You would have no idea that they're up 3 right now.
I mean, it's strange, really, because for me, if I were going to criticize the coach, I would say don't leave Bentley on the bench so long, especially if she played so well in the second quarter.
Yeah.
At the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, no, I agree. But, you know, maybe she now expects to play Bentley for the last 15 minutes of this game.
But look at that. Zirkova actually had a good look. She went right past Bentley. Oh, now that was a mistake by Popova. And Slamova goes in. She doesn't snub it, but she lays it up and in. And it's like Belarus almost say, right, we're up by 8, 10, let's let them come back. And that's exactly what's happened. Slovakia trimmed that deficit. Bentley's pass was, I don't know if Popova wasn't expecting it or if she just threw it behind her a little bit too much, but it led to a fast break.
You know, Belarus are playing like they did it in the first half, where they had a lead, they looked good, and their mistakes let Slovakia come back in it. It wasn't anything that Slovakia did. You know, it's Belarus let them come back, and that's what's happening right now. I think this is a great timeout that coach has called. She's saying, listen, we're up 1. We've been up most of this game. Relax a little. Let's go back to what works. You know, be aggressive, crash the boards. Let's try find mismatches. So, you know, we'll see what they run out of this timeout.
I think they forget that I think Popova plays a little bit differently to everybody else. So she's kind of quite happy to take shots out of, you know, once she gets an opening, she's going to go for it. Whereas Snitsina is much more patient, looks for plays to develop, looks for cuts, and the same with Liktarovic. But Popova's kind of streaky. She's a streaky player, and right now she's in a bad streak. I like the offense when Snitsina and Liktarovic are kind of driving it. But
yeah, when they have more touches, more involved.
Look, Popova again, down on the ground. And Bentley, I think that went off of her. It's going to go to Slovakia. Yes, it does. So the Slovakian pressure, and I do think this is probably where Belarus are really vulnerable. If you start putting pressure on them, even with Bentley out there, you can force some turnovers.
Yeah, you know, we talked in the past how Belarus traditionally haven't handled pressure well, and maybe Slovakia know this, and they say, you know what, we need to get up. We need to make them uncomfortable.
So Rusitskova puts up the free throw line jumper.
Great box out.
Viktorovich. And that was not a great shot either. I mean, it was nobody under early in the shot clock. Inside now they find Snitsina. Oh, she missed the layup. I think that was Popova that made that pass. Remenarova. Snitsina tries to take it away. Remenarova. And Liktarovic knocks it out of bounds.
So coach made the decision to take Snitsina out here, and I think it's just to give her a little bit of a breather and more just get her composure. You know, we're fine. Yeah, we need to get you more touches. You need to be more involved on offense because good things happen when you touch the ball. But we're okay. Relax.
You know, Remenarova is actually it's another opportunity for her. She was at the Under-20 championship last year, so she's getting more and more minutes for Slovakia. Here she is. She's got the ball. Over to Slamova. And Rusitskova with the rebound, the 30-year-old. Zirkova at the line. This is her kind of game. She's just going to get off, isn't she? She's playing
She's going to say, if
basketball.
you can't guard my jump shot, I'm not going to stop shooting.
An offensive foul. Turns it right back over to Slovakia, who have the lead for the first time in a long time. And if that's on Popova, he's going to have to take a seat with 4 fouls.
You know, WOW has momentum change right now, and you kind of look over at the Belarus coach and you say, Coach, you already took a timeout, but this is where maybe you notice that they don't have that experience. You know, Bentley's been great, but how experienced is she at this level?
But did you like that?
Of controlling the game. I don't think she has that aspect to her.
She missed it. Good effort by Vinyahalova to get it back to her teammate. Now Reminarova, Ruzickova, and it rims out again. Now Bentley. But that fourth foul for Popova was just kind of like a little nudge almost. But and again, it was well outside. So Liktarovic and interesting, Inkina, the youngster, posting up Ruzickova and his foul.
You know, that was a great idea. She noticed that she had position. I think it was a good pass because that's what drew the foul.
Yep, that's right. Bentley steps to her left. And Zhirkova gets it up to Ruzickova. Bentley hustles back. Great defensive play. Ruzickova didn't do anything wrong. It was just Bentley was so quick that she was able to get a hand in. Watch this. Chases it down.
And you know what? That looked like all ball to me. That looked like a good play on the ball.
It was a good no call by the ref. Oh, nice little wraparound for Ruzickova. And Slovakia now up by 3.
This is getting exciting.
And a needless turnover. Ruzickova to Inkina. Inkina thought the pass was to somebody else.
You know, Belarus already have 14 turnovers in this game, and this is where they're just giving Slovakia opportunities.
In other words, they're their own worst enemy.
They really are. Ill-advised fouls and turnovers.
Zhirkova, jump shot, rims out. Look at the hustle from
Look at
Zhirkova.
that.
Bounce pass, Vinyahalova! And the lead has grown to 5. Boy, Zhirkova is leading the way.
She is doing everything she can right now. She looks exhausted, though.
And now as Liktarovic goes in and draws the foul from Vinyahalova.
And you know what? That's a good take by Liktarovic. And we were talking about Liktarovic and Snitza need the ball more in offense because they're smart. They can attack. They can shoot. And this is a great play. Everyone calm down on Belarus. It was a good, strong take. Relax. Shoot your free throws with the time stopped.
But gosh, did you see that play as well on the replay from Zhirkova? Just terrific play, but you're right. I mean, now's the time that your veterans need to have the ball in their hands. And also Bentley, because Bentley can create. Snitsina's going to come back in for Inkina. Inkina just needs time.
So Snitsina is going to play the 4 here. See, this is what Belarus has to go to. That's a mismatch.
Well, Snitsina's pretty long. Valentina drives, gets it over to Ruzickova. You know, she averaged those big numbers in the Euro Cup Women, and now she's starting to come to life.
And you know, how happy are Slovakia that she came back to the national team?
I think the word very springs to mind. Now Ruzickova drives in. And Slovakia have really owned this quarter. And now Slamova. They have got some confidence. They've got the wind in their sails, folks. They are up by 7 points. And Belarus are just reeling.
And you know, Slamova, she had 0 points yesterday and she has 5 today. And this is what teams need if you want to move on. You need contributions from everyone on the team.
And Snitsina did the right thing there to get it to Hasper, but Hasper just didn't convert. Slamova for 3! And Hasper hands it off to Ruzickova.
I think both these teams look a little tired right now, and they're looking forward to that little break in between the quarters.
Offensive foul, or did she step out of bounds?
I think it's another turnover for Belarus.
Goodness me. And look at the Belarus fans, they can barely watch. It's getting emotional. Unless he asked her to marry him. Maybe that's a Czech fan.
So Zurkova was not on the bench long. He says, you know what, we need a good score to finish out this quarter.
Zurkova. Orosova fouled by Snitsina. And Belarus have some fouls to give, so it's not a problem. The only problem is Snitsina. She doesn't want to get into foul trouble, so she's only got 2.
So we're going to wait for the last shot here.
Zurkova shifts, puts to the right, follows up the miss. Look at the hustle from Rusitskava.
I think Zurkova thought she might have been fouled on that second shot after she followed her, got her own rebound. Still a lot of time, 6 seconds. They can get a score here and kind of deflate Slovakia a little bit.
And Viktorovich drives in, got a beautiful look, and just did not knock it in. So 10 minutes remain, folks. It's the Slovak Republic on top 51-44.
What a change in momentum. You know, we said Slovakia should be happy that they're only down 1 at halftime.
Just 2 threes have fallen for the Slovakians, but making just enough plays. Well, it's tough to figure out how these games are going to work. We've seen Belarus open up a big lead and really not been able to press home the advantage. And instead, they've lacked execution offensively. They've had some poor offensive sets and some turnovers. And Slovakia, especially with Zurkova leading the way, have not only been able to come all the way back, but they've been able to take the lead. 51-44. They're up with 10 minutes remaining. And, you know, you're talking about Slovakia going up against a team that has some players that have played at 2 Olympics, players that have played at FIBA Basketball World Cups, a lot of big-time experience. So this would be a huge win for their program if they could get a win against Belarus.
Yeah, it would. And right now, I think the game is in the hands of Zurkova. You know, she is doing absolutely everything she can for this Slovakian team. She's scoring for them. She's following her own misses. She's getting rebounds. She's creating. She's really doing everything right now. She is a player who does not want to lose today.
Zurkova has it. And don't forget, Palina Kova's out with the ankle injury. Doesn't look like she'll be back tonight or today. Rusitskova hands it out to Slamova, who hit that big 3-pointer. And Balankova drives in!
What a great strong move. And you know what? She's been quiet today, so she could go off in this last quarter.
Now Popova. Swing it over to Zioskova. And Rusitskova with the rebound. Now from the right. And no rebound.
Zurkova got her hand on that ball and was able to tip it out to Balantova. And again,
Balantova this time swatted by Popova.
Great defense. You know, she came across. She wasn't there the last play.
And Popova drives in. Boy, that was a nice play, both ends of the floor.
Yeah, your post player blocks the person on defense and then runs down and scores for them on offense. Not much more you can do.
Now Zirkova goes in again, puts it up and in. She's in the zone right now, boy. She's not going to miss.
She really is, and you can just tell her eyes. She is fierce right now.
It's incredible that she's been able to play at this level for so long. It really is. Ball goes out of bounds, but a push has been called on Balantova. You know, and the luxury that Belarus have had over the years with Lishanka especially is that you could feed the ball inside to her, and she has such great footwork. You know she's going to get a good look at the basket, and they don't have that threat right now.
Yeah, they really don't. You know, she was so technically skilled for a post player, and she had great hands too. Some of the catches that she could make. So yeah, you know what, that's what they're missing. But that being said, I think the posts, and given their skill set, they're doing a great job today.
Balantova over to Orosova, and now Zuzkova with the rebound. Another chance. The quick touch pass, one that Likharovich shouldn't have made, but they get it back. And now that's almost bad luck for Balantova, because I think more than being hit by Balantova, Zuzkova just kind of lost her balance going back.
Yeah, she might have even tripped on her own foot a little bit, but it was a little bit of a push.
Popova to Snitsina, now to Popova. Popova drives, good D. And boy, Chris really crashed the boards, kept it alive. But Remenarova has it. Zirkova to Ruzicova. She's going to go right at Chris. Oh, she goes up with the left hand. Oh, she had a beautiful move.
That was a great move.
$1 million move, but a $5 finish. Here's nice drive and great defense from Orosova, but the foul has been called. So she must have got a little bit of wrist or arm there. Woo. Well,
You know, that's one of those, it's a difficult call for the ref, though. She was a little bit, you know, she was shielded by the player. If we hadn't seen the replay, we wouldn't have known either. So it's one of those calls. It goes against you. We talked yesterday, though. Yeah, the refs aren't perfect. They're going to make calls that maybe people don't agree with. But you know what? It evens out at the end of the game. They miss things, they call things, and it happens for both teams.
Cecina, the veteran, takes advantage and really rewarded for attacking the basket as well, it has to be said. So she gets it back to 7. Plenty of time for Belarus.
Oh, lots of time. I don't think they should be worrying just yet or playing.
Zirkova, well, maybe you should time.
maybe they should be worrying if Zirkova is going off right now.
She is having one of the performances of the tournament. 20 points. She is rolling back the years tonight.
She really is. You would think she was early 20s with the way she's playing right now, and she's doing everything for them. She is going to be so tired after this game. It's a good thing that they have a day off tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Bentley with a rather easy basket, which perhaps doesn't bode well for Slovakia. Need to tighten up defensively. Remenarova, oh, they're just on fire right now. Again, and one of those players that was at the Under-20 European Championship last year. So these youngsters getting a golden opportunity. And in fact, 2 years ago, she was at both the Under-18 and the Under-20 European Championship. So this is a big stage for them, and that was her drilling the jumper. Well, Stetsina, as you can see, coming out of the game, she's just gassed. She needs to take a seat. Now Likharovich drives in with the left hand, strong move, but couldn't finish. Good pass from Zirkova. They're putting the pressure on, but Balantova lost control. That was a good move.
That was a good move. And you know, out of the 9 people who have played for Slovakia, 8 of them has scored. And that's the kind of bench contribution you need. you need everyone to get involved and be involved and help you, and that's what's happening to them right now. And that's why I think we felt this momentum swing since halftime.
Press trying to post up, gets it to Ritchie Scava. So Ritchie Scava missed it from the left corner. What Belarus could do with a turnover and an easy basket. Now Zirkova and Vinyo-Halova is fouled by Hasper. She's going to be helped up by her teammates. 3 fouls on Hasper. Here it is again. Watch as just kind of a foreign shiver to the back. I mean, I think if anything, that's more about
just trying to get position on offense and defense.
And Vinyo-Halova is just not as big as Hasper.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she doesn't battle against people like that, practicing with the national team. So it's a tough call on Hasper, to be honest. I don't think it was intentional or on purpose, but
Ritchie Scava puts it up and in.
Oh, they needed that.
And that gets it back to 7. Remember, Ritchie Scava is not as celebrated as the rest of her Belarus teammates, but she has had some big games for them. Maybe she can step up to them here down the stretch.
You know what? That they have gone a little flat in the second half in scoring, and maybe it is someone like that who's not maybe your top scorer on the scouting report, but someone else can step up, and you know that's what she's trying to do.
So Popova with 10 points, Viktorovich with 9, and Kristina with 9, Bentley with 8.
They really haven't got going here in the second half, though.
Well, Zirkova with 20 points, Kruzitskova with 12 rebounds, leading the way. And Zirkova also has those 5 assists to lead her team. And she's missed a few shots. She's 7 of 15 from the floor, 6 of 13, but you live with that. She's also got the 7 rebounds. So she has been very active. She's got an efficiency rating of 21 for those of you who like stats. Scava, we were just talking about her. She picks up a foul. 3 team fouls on the Slovakians, 2 on Belarus. The penetration, the drive, looked like Popova may have taken a shot to the neck. She's looking at the referee. She's having to bend over.
You know, I think fatigue might come into play here in these last few minutes of the fourth quarter. These women have been fighting all game. They must be tired.
Do you think both teams? Maybe Bentley can take advantage as she drives in. And Ritchie Scava got a hand on it. But Bentley hasn't finished as well as I would have expected, like on that situation.
Yeah, I think you've seen some frustration from her in the second half. And, you know, that's not what Belarus needs. You need to have confidence, especially in your point guard, especially in your playmaker, the person who's creating offense for you. Just, uncharacteristic
violation of not bringing
call.
it over, but sure enough, the referee looked up at the shot clock and there were only 15 seconds.
I think she said, wow, that was a fast 6 seconds that went by. And she wasn't even really being pressured.
No,
maybe she was trying to catch a breather.
That was a mental mistake from Zirkova. Bentley bounce pass.
There
beautiful
you go.
play. Beautiful play from Belarus.
She did a great job of keeping her dribble when she saw the trap coming a little bit and then found her post player.
The Slovakians not out of the woods yet. They're down 5, but then Zirkova comes right back.
How many times have we seen that today? Her jump shot.
Maybe 11. She's got 22 points. Ritsikava with the 3 and Halova with the rebound. Now Zirkova chased down from behind, and they're going to say over and back. That is so unlucky for Belarus.
That is. I'm not really sure if she had possession, but
I know, that's what was slightly odd. But again, Zirkova's point guard. I mean, you forgive her because she's playing so well, but a couple of miscues there, bringing the ball up the floor. She's listed as the shooting guard, and Balantova is the point guard. Balantova says, what was that all about? They are, it appears, maybe they've had the message from the bench, let's make Slovakia make some free throws, but that wouldn't make sense because they've shot it well from the line today.
yeah, it was the free throws that brought them back into the game in the first quarter, remember?
Absolutely. Penetration over to Ruzeskova. Oh, wow. That is just
little fadeaway turnaround jump shot from your post player.
That was A-star quality right there. Looked like the Belarus player might even knock it out of her hands. And now Bentley loses it. The ball slips out of her hands. Halova.
That's a good decision to pull it out. You know, use the clock, get a good shot. The clock is in their favor right now.
And traveling. So, listen, 2:47 is an eternity in basketball, so don't go away. But look, that was just a quality move.
It really was.
Ruzeskova.
And you know, she only has 8 points, but she has 12 rebounds, and those 8 points have seemed to come in the second half here.
Very impressive tonight, or today. Inside, and Hasper, boy, Belarus got the look they needed. They just didn't make the shot.
They really did, and you know what? They need to make those kind of shots if they want to come back here.
And now Zirkova with a chance to take some more time off the clock. Zirkova, the jumper. Long rebound. Goes out of bounds off Slovakia. Look at the Slovakian bench. They're happy.
You know, you talk about being down with 2 minutes left, which is a really long time, but this is where you need to either make threes.
That's line, but short. Oh, nobody got the ball for Slovakia. And this Vecina missed the layup. And this Vecina just takes it right back, gives it to Bentley at the line, and she hits the jumper. Strange that Vecina didn't even take the shot. She was right at the basket. But she did the right thing. Now back to 7 points. The deficit. And the pressure. And Zirkova, you talk about the fatigue. He's still out there. And the ball is going to go back to Belarus. So minute 37 remains. And a timeout. And I think this is a good timeout called by Slovakia.
Yeah, I think he needs to, you know, tell his teams, listen, we're okay. Take your time. Catch a breather. You know, we're up, so we have the advantage. Right here, you don't really want to foul Belarus. You know, you don't want to give them anything easy, but stopping the clock and letting them score is the worst thing that you can do when you're up. So you want to play good defense. You want to let them try and use the clock because they're going to try and get an early shot. They have to. So you really, guys, don't foul, play good defense. If they do score, maybe I'll call a timeout and we'll advance the ball. But just relax, we're up right now.
46-41, the rebounding advantage for the Slovakians. They've shown, the Slovakians have, to this point, shown good poise, I think. And, you know, when the game has been really hot, especially Ruzikova and Zirkova.
You know what? And Belarus has had good shots and good opportunities, though, but they've missed them. They've missed a lot around the basket, and that's what comes back and really hurts you. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of see a quick shot out of the inbounds here, or a three-point attempt.
Well, just know this. I think Zirkova is going to have the ball in her hands as much as possible the rest of the way. She's 5 of 5 at the free throw line. So you're going to foul her, you risk giving away a couple points.
Oh.
Goodness me. They are not on the same page. That's the second time that time Popova got it back. Vincina for 3.
Oh, they needed that.
Down to just 4 points now, the deficit. No need to foul if you're Belarus.
Lots of time.
Halova goes baseline, gets it inside, puts it up. They crash the boards. They get it back, and the foul. What a play by the youngster, Raminarova.
Foul by
the
Bentley.
offensive rebound.
Yeah, but there's only 1.6 seconds left, and she was dribbling away from the basket.
And I'm sure if Bentley could take that steal attempt back, she would. They put 14 on the shot clock now. Halova, what was that? She thought there was less time on the clock? That is crazy. Liktarovic bumped. And that is Slovakia's 4th foul.
You know, not a horrible foul. I think everyone was a little confused.
What was Vinya Halova doing? Did she think there was only a couple seconds on the shot
think she
clock?
must have thought it was that 1.6 when the foul was called instead of the shot clock going back up to 14. But that's uncharacteristic of a player of her excellence.
Well, Cecina, meanwhile, takes one, hoping to get the foul.
And you know what? That's not what they needed either. Get to the line or get a quick 2. Oh!
Bentley almost picks Zirkova. Oh, she does. She forces it. Now it's Vinya Halova inside. Puts it up and scores! And Hasper picks up.
She says, okay, I made up for that bad hook shot from the elbow I just took in the play before.
Look at this. She stopped. She popped. And now she says she doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. That might have just done it. And the lead now, 7 points. And you know what? We talked about the importance of the veterans for Belarus, and during phases of this game, they've played well. You know, Snesina on that last possession took a crazy 3-point shot. Now, it just, as you said, it wasn't what they needed at the time. There was like, 20, 21 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, there was still, just under a minute in the game, and I know she just hit a 3, but you know what? Be aggressive. A quick 2 is fine. You don't need a quick 3. A quick 2 or get fouled and go to the free throw line, because that, that wasn't a good shot, and you know what? They got punished because it was an and one.
It's kind of her game in a way that she plays with that craziness, that, oh no, don't take it. Oh yeah, she hits it. I mean, you remember a couple years ago against, who were they playing? It was Italy, and she rushed up.
Oh, and hit that 3. Yeah, shot that 3, sorry.
She missed it, but they got bailed out with the rebound by Liktarovic, who made the game winner. But I guess when you have Sinitsina, you have to live with that part of her game, because that's who she is.
The good and the bad, and, it's like a Manu Ginobili. Have you ever heard Popovich talk about him? Sometimes I love him, sometimes I hate him.
Who, Manu?
Yeah, Manu, because of some of his decision-making at the end of games too, right?
Bentley inbounds it to Hasper, and off her hands. And that might have just done it. 27 points. I mean, you can't even inbound the ball. Cena picks up her 3rd foul.
I mean, good defense by Slovakia. They knew that they had to pressure, they had to deny a little bit, and that's what they did. Belarus didn't even have an open look on the inbounds.
So Balantova takes it up. Don't forget also, points differential here could be crucial. Goal differential. So Slovakia would like to get it up as much as possible. And Belarus goes to the bench.
And you know, Belarus only lost yesterday by, Belarus lost by 20, but Slovakia only lost by 11. And in a group that's sort of unknown, you know, Turkey looked good yesterday, Italy looked good yesterday, but as we talked about, those points difference are going to be important at the end of this group phase.
And I think it's going to be awfully difficult for Belarus after this. They'll play Turkey. Turkey will want, if they can win today, they will be wanting to go, you know, go ahead and clinch first place and get a straight passage to the quarterfinals. And you know, we haven't seen from Belarus the ability to be, you know, to be able to execute for 40 minutes. And that's been their biggest problem today, is that they got on top of Slovakia a couple of times and just started making mistake after mistake and couldn't put them away.
Yeah, we really, you know, that's especially what happened in the first half. They were the better team in the first half, but their mistakes let Slovakia get back into it. I think Slovakia has played a great second half here today.
Well, Snitsina, again, kind of a crazy shot. I don't know if she was thinking she was going to try to get a foul there. So Zhirkova, outstanding performance by the Slovakian legend. Let's go ahead and say it. I don't like saying legend unless they finish playing, but I think we'll just allow her to have that. And look at, she knows this is probably going to be the result that gets them into the next phase of the competition. They have won against Belarus. They've come from behind a couple of times. They've won it 68 to 59, all smiles and much richly deserved by Slovakia. And disappointment once again for Belarus.
And you know, the story here today is Zuzana Zhirkova. She did everything for her team. You know, she hit big shot after big shot after big shot. And she must just be so proud of this. And it must feel so great for her later part in her career.
22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And some of those shots, Shona, were in immediate response to Belarus when they were starting to get the momentum. And if you look at the Slovak Republic, I mean, they only shot 40% from the floor and 2 of 11, but don't forget their free throw shooting. That was also a key, 14 of 16 at the line. And even with all that size on the front line of Belarus, Slovakia out-rebounded it. So 17 turnovers for Belarus were clearly costly.
Yeah, you know, like you mentioned, they were 14 of 16 from the free throw line. And yesterday, they only had 7 attempts. So I think maybe their coach said, hey, you know what, maybe you guys are finesse, but we need to be aggressive and we need to get to the free throw line because that's the only way we're going to win games. And they did a great job of that today.
So Zhirkova with the 22, Rizitskova with 15 rebounds. Zitsina had the 12 to lead Belarus. 7 for Kress and rebounds for the 5 assists. Well, you've got Bentley with the 3 steals, and Bentley, you know, unfortunately, I don't think that she wasn't as influential as Belarus needed, but I also think that, say in comparison to Lindsay Harding would have started, and for some reason after that great second quarter, Bentley didn't get into the game until several minutes into the second half. So that was a decision taken by Trofimova, and she knows her team better. But Belarus, they've got a tough game against Turkey. We've only seen Turkey once, and they beat Slovakia. And still, I think that Belarus have a chance if they can get things together. But it's going to be difficult, isn't it?
You know, I think today compared to yesterday, they were